kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
All right, everybody, and welcome into Sunday Night NASCAR. My name is James Riles, and in with me, the booth here, in the booth with me, there we go. We're off to a great start, as always, is Tony Trapasso. Tony, how you doing, brother?
My third race here at Daytona today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a tick tired, but we're gonna do this.
Definitely. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be here at Daytona Motor Speedway, Super Speedway, and I am telling you, to put this as the last race of the regular season, it's something else. It's going to create a lot of storylines. A lot of folks here can win, and they're into the playoffs. We'll keep you updated as we go. But I will say here, 2.5 mile super speedway. If you don't know Daytona International Speedway, you're in the wrong place. But folks, it's 69 degrees right now. Really nice temperature, 68 degrees humidity, cloudy, and that's going to make overall for a really tacky track there for Daytona, isn't it?
Say again?
The temperature being low, it's going to make it really tacky for these drivers. They're going to be able to get a lot more in that draft and be able to move around a little bit more.
It absolutely is. The fact that we're here in the afternoon, about quarter after 6 right now, as qualifying is still underway. Means we should end this under the lights here tonight. But yeah, 69-degree ambient air temperature, 75-degree track temperature. The winds out of the east at 9 miles an hour. That means they're going to be getting a tailwind coming down the back straightaway. That's what's got me slightly concerned because these cars don't like to go backwards.
Right. These cars kind of stuck on the racing surface, so to speak. It's going to be good to see what they're going to be able to do, especially like you said, if they get turned around. It's going to be a mess. So
Well, it's not
far,
even that. It's not even that. You've got that splitter at the diffuser at the back of the car, and air coming at the diffuser. It's going to unsettle the back ends of these cars. So I'm expecting turn 3 to be calamity corner tonight.
definitely going in turn 3 is one of those that it's going to be hard to bump draft, going to be hard for everything. But I will say this much: Austin Story already on the pole, 49.52. Chris Claude is getting out there in that Dasani 10 machine. Qualifying, not so important here at Daytona. It's really about finding out where you want to be in the pack. Because if you're not in that first, I don't know, 5 cars, you run the risk of having to take your ride to the hauler a little bit earlier than expected. And especially today, the last race of the regular season here for Sunday Night NASCAR, that's got to be a mess.
It's definitely one of those situations where there's a lot of guys that are behind the 8 ball right now. They need to win to punch their ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of guys, including our teammate here at Sunday Night NASCAR, Dave Regal, looking to try and get in on points. He's down, I believe, 100 from getting in. John Bowalda, I don't know if he's in here tonight. A lot of folks could be having to get in. Matt Gaskins, Marty Roberts, Jeff Carson, a couple others trying to lock their way in. But I will say this much, folks. If you're waiting to see a driver, don't wait. Go ahead and hop into chat. Type out who you want to see, and we will get those folks up there. Leo Bonacasa says, let's go, Money House Racing and Propel. Teaming up tonight, actually. That's a storyline. Money House Racing and Propel Esports using the same Discord. So a lot of folks going to be working together. Austin Story, Joe Stafford, Bennett Allen, I believe Leo Bonacasa, Nolan Hodgson, a lot of folks in here that are fast going to be working together to try and get this thing going.
They are at that, and I'm looking at who's in there right now. Joseph Lester in there, Austin Story, Nicholas Breidenbach, Bennett Allen, who was one of the top dogs there in the hot lap session. Leo Bonacasa, Nolan Hodgson, Joe Stafford, as you already mentioned. So that's a strong lineup tonight, and I would hate to be on one of the other teams looking at that lineup going, well, this is an uphill battle now.
Yeah, and speaking about practice, we can just see here, it is kind of hard to compete. Bennett Allen with Money House Racing, Austin Story, it says 23XI, but that's actually Propel or Money House, pretty much interchangeable tonight. Bowalda was very quick, Josh Ward, and then Joseph Lester. So all these guys that came out there and are in this team really made something good happen here. But we're going to go ahead and go to racing here. Go and throw up our qualifying order. Austin Story, of course, Joe Stafford, Bennett Allen, Matt White, Josh Ward, Lester, RJ Root, RP Allen, Nicholas Breidenbach, your top 10. And we'll go ahead and run through those a lot sooner. But just so y'all can see it right now, we'll get a closer look at those paint schemes when they roll off here. But you can pick out your driver there from the line. 38 drivers going to make the field here at Daytona. So we're going to get everybody in.
How about we go to the starting grid and run through who's starting where?
Yeah, we're going to give them a little bit more time for everybody to grid up. This league likes to run through individually by the driver. So we're going to get them out on the track first and get them driving. But the 23 up top. So let's go ahead and get these first drivers out of the way. Austin Story in the 23 machine, followed by Joe Stafford. Then we have Bennett Allen. Of course, iRacing cameras at Daytona. Matt White not drifting up yet. Josh Ward's going to be in 5th, followed by Joseph Lester there in 6th. RJ Root's going to be starting in 7th. Outside of him is going to be RP Allen. Then we have Nicholas Breidenbach and Nolan Hodgson. Nicholas at his home track here. Glenn Bollier is going to be row 6. Outside of him is Leo Bonacasa. Row 7, Jeremy Miller and Joseph Cossey, and then I'll let you take it from here.
Row number 8 is going to see our partner in crime, Mr. Dave Regal, in the SRM 21. He's going to be joined in row number 8 with Chad Sanner. Charles Eaton and Ryan Samuelson are going to make up row number 9. Row 10 is going to give us Randy Spivey and JC Gibson. Matt Gaskins and Jeff Carson rolling it off in row number 11. Emily Urias and Randy Belk starting in row number 12. Lauren Jones and Justin Davis going to make up row number 13. Row 14 is going to see Tom McGee and Corey Burkett. Chris Claude and Wyatt Fink starting in row 15. Row 16 is going to give us Zach Vaughn and Jackson Derby. Row number 17 is going to go to Alex Princeton and Zendela Collins. Ken Ron and Seba Cornez rolling it off in row number 18. Row 19 is going to see John Valda and Tony Burt. Bryson Alexander and Jeff O'Rourke starting shotgun on the field in row number 20. So 40 cars scheduled to roll it here tonight. 75% fuel fill. And James, they've got 4 sets of tires to get it done, which should not be too big of an issue, considering the tire wear is generally negligible here on the 2 plate tracks.
Yeah, definitely. Tire wear is really something you find late in the race that's really going to help you to maneuver a little bit more under pressure. But throughout most of this 200-mile race, we're not going to see it play too much. But it's something you definitely want to keep last minute if you want to be able to shoot around and make some headway in the pack. It's definitely going to help you out. But so far, I think a lot of these drivers are really going to think about just keeping clean. 80 laps here today at the DBR 200, brought to you, of course, by Davis Brothers Roofing. So something to keep an eye on is when these guys are going to come down for fuel. I'm thinking probably 25 to 30 laps per run is usually how they go. 75%
fuel fill in this car, you're looking right around lap 30.
Yeah, so just to see where they're going to break that up, because that's 2 stops right there you're going to have to make. No stage breaks here, Tony, so it's going to be racing all the way start to finish.
It's been reading my mind because I was about to ask you what the stages were. But, yeah, field lights are out on the pace car again. So Story, Stafford going to bring him down to the green flag here at Daytona. And you can see the sun starting to set now in the over turn 1. And this is going to be fun. This is really going to be fun here. As, like you mentioned, 80 laps to get her done. Austin Story having the button as the field worked its way through the 3-4 complex. The key tonight, James, is going to be to keep these cars clean. And that's going to be at a premium because we've already seen today a lot of 3-wide action. And 3-wide is never a good idea at Daytona. As the field comes out of turn number 4, the only thing that's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn because it's time to get it on at the World Center of Racing. Race fans, it's show time.
time it is. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. These cars are doing a great job. Everybody off to the races. Austin Story up in front with Joe Stafford, Ben Allen, Matt White not too far behind him, as Zindola Collins, I'm showing, has crashed, but he is staying back there as side
He
by
immediately
side.
jumped to the pits.
Possibly, did he blow up? Is that what we're hearing?
Let me go look.
So far, so good. Everybody jostling for position. We know in these next gens that top line can really get momentum as we go here. Oh, the 50. Who is that in the white monster car? He is up very high. The 03 of RP Allen gets out of shape, and they're going to have to figure something out because the bottom line is getting gone right now.
Yeah, Zendola Collins unfortunately missed a shift going into 1, and instead of going into 5th, he went into 2nd.
Oof. Well, maybe they can get a new transmission in there by the time everything's done here. As we see what these drivers are doing so far, looking at speed. Going 190 up front. Austin Story, Joe Stafford. That's some things that these next gens are built for. They're built to be stable. Not as quick as the old style cars, but definitely makes for some good racing, as we see. If anybody can get that top line going and commit, the top line in the next gens is very effective because it can actually use the runoff of the turns to get a little bit more speed on that inside run, which is something we've almost never seen before, Tony.
Well, generally in the next gen cars, they like that second lane, solely because you're not binding the car up in the middle of the corner. But that second lane has got to get going. We've seen it so effective in other leagues that have come here at Daytona already this week. We still have a lot of racing left this week to come here on Sim Racing Media. But that second lane, if you can get organized with the 3 cars is ideal up there, as they've got 5 right now. And the top 2 puts the daylights out of each other. You know, this is what you're seeing. Just how much that outside lane is starting to gain, because they're able to use coming off of the banking as a downhill to get a little bit more of a slingshot. You know, they were back outside the top 5 the last time by the stripe. Now they're almost in the lead already.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that was really interesting to see at the start of the season, right? NASCAR put out this next gen before we actually saw them in real life. And we saw leagues start at Daytona, and guess what we saw? We saw that top line forming, and everybody was like, oh, the next gens are broken, the top line's fast.
And then we saw the real world race. Yeah, exactly.
Life imitating art. The top line absolutely was dominant in these cars, and that's what we're seeing. With the way the aero slows these cars down, anything helps to get that extra little batch of speed. As we're seeing here, Joseph Posse coming back from 14th position to lead that top line in the 88 Chevrolet. Austin Story doing everything he can with the teammates down low to try and just stay where they are, keep that position. And there goes Matt White up into the top line. He's going to try and take over here.
Well, they've got to be careful now, because the last thing you want to do is be the car in the middle and getting pushed while you're trying to push who's in front of you. Luckily, the 7 backed off. Ballard saw what was happening and gave the 11 plenty of space to not
big
run
check
him
up.
over. Oy.
Ryan Samuelson, sorry to interrupt. Ryan Samuelson getting a big hiccup as they're trying to bump draft through the front, and they're not liking it. But Matt White has Cossey behind him. They're going to push, and you got to think Story and Stafford have been practicing for hours, practicing this push, practicing what they're going to do if they get the 1-2. And here they are. You just see them pull away so far in the straightaways, but you cannot shake that outside line.
You absolutely cannot, because, again, because you're not down on the low side, you're not binding that car up. the way that the rear ends are set up in these cars, it's different than we've ever seen in NASCAR's top 3 divisions in the past. It used to be a straight axle rear end. Now they're running the independent rear suspension, and they're finding out that because of the way that the rear ends are set up in these cars now, down on the low side is not the best place to be at a place like Daytona or Talladega. But if you can get the cars in line to stay in line and work together on that low side, you can combat the top side, but the top side needs to have 3 cars that are pushing the bubble on each other.
Yeah, definitely. You want to get lined up, eliminate that air resistance, but at the same time, use what you've got to your advantage. As we do have our first lap car of the evening. I believe that's Tony Burt, who's going to be having to hold his line. So we'll keep what goes here. He's going to elect to go below the yellow.
Just bails out of the way so he doesn't come in the page of the field. Good on you, sir.
Definitely, as we see some teammates trying to make it up top. Joseph Lester, namely, he's in the 10th position, got shuffled back. He's trying to make it up to the teammates. So I know, Tony, I know what I do when I'm here at Daytona. I find that yellow line and I just put my left front right on top of it all the way around. What are you doing here with the next gens, or even in the past?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I've never actually driven the next gen, only because I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. But I know when I used to race here in Indy cars and trucks, I would do the same thing. I put my left front tire just outside of that yellow line to make sure that if anybody wants to pass me on the inside, guess what? Your butt is going below that line and you're going to the back of the field.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the way I heard it, especially one of my favorite things is listening to the spotters. And when those spotters in IRL NASCAR are calling out for these young drivers, that's one of the big things I'll tell them is, hey, just stay on the bottom line. Run your laps, get used to running in traffic. Don't try and be crazy, because that bottom line, you'll always be safe there enough. And you also have a little bit more room to evade a wreck if you have to. Of course, Dega, Daytona, all those tracks are self-cleaning, so wrecks will wash down, but still, especially in the tri-oval, you want to be in the bottom where you can dive through that infield if the grounds crew hate you.
I'd rather a grounds crew mad at me than my team for destroying a $100,000 race car.
Oh, minimum. As Dave Regal's here, he's
Per
leading
chassis.
the second pack. Yeah, he's leading the second pack, not too far behind. He's going to have to do some hard work to get up there. And just as I say that, it looks like the 79 of Matthew Gaskins is going to take control of that line. Also, another thing
Now,
to remember.
there's something I haven't seen in a long time here in the Northeast. Royal Crown Cola. Love that stuff.
Yeah, blast from the past for you, I bet. As we got another lap car. That is the 75 of Charles Eaton going a lap down. We'll see if that's going to cause any trouble. Ooh, he just barely gets down out of the way here.
He was able to time it just right to bail off to the apron down the super stretch. So Austin Story, Joe Safford, Bennett Allen, Josh Ward, and Leo Bonacasa, your top 5. And what do most of those guys have in common tonight, James?
Well, guess what? They're teammates. They're running for Money House Racing. The Propel and 23, formerly 23XI Money House, are teaming up here to get some of their last-minute drivers in. But folks, I will say this much. Go ahead and hit that like button. We're going to go to a commercial break, pay some bills, get some of these drivers the opportunity to really be broadcasted. So we're going to be side by side, focusing on some folks in the middle.
Drivers that took time, all of them within.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower
to take on any size job.
When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
All right, folks, we are back. Not too much shaking up here, Tony. So far, everybody just keeping in there and doing what they need to do.
Relatively quiet so far in the early going. Currently working lap 16, so about halfway through this current fuel run. Everybody's playing nice so far, and that's good to see because you and I both know that in the last 12 to 13 laps, we're going to see the kid gloves come off, and it's going to be Katie bar the door as everybody's going to be jockeying for position.
Yeah, and even right now, teammates trying to get closer together over and over again. Leo Bonacasa working his way up. Joseph Cossey, another one trying to get up front. And Ryan Samuelson. Where is RJ Root, though? I'm missing. There he is. RJ Root there in the top line. So teammates trying to work together and make something happen. And then back here in the back, Matt Gaskins, Tom McGee, Chad Sanner, and then Dave Regal and Jeff Carson. They're off on their own setup, not running correctly. And then we got a little secondary pack right here, led by Randy Spivey, Wyatt Fink, and Bawalda. They're going 3 wide.
Oh, no.
In the back there. This is for 29th. A lot of these drivers already in the playoffs, locked in. Don't want to get all this up too quickly here at the start of this race.
Looks like Seba Cornez shoots up through the middle there. Now in command of the top side as the 14 is pushing on the 10 of Chris Claude. They're getting chippy back towards the front of this piece, right around the top 10. This is going to get frustrating for some guys, and I dare say before we see the green flag pit stop, we're going to see some guys get the old Spanish archer, the elbow, if you will.
Yeah, possibly, because Matt White has been leading the top line since there has been a top line. So the 48's been up there. He decided, hey, this is my line. You're either with me or against me. And so far, everybody's been coming into, been pretty okay with that. But I think that's not going to last forever. Some other folks might want to get up there. But hey, let him be the gas hog right now and then decide when you're going to come down. Teammates are going to start jockeying to try and get in that bottom line. Because anywhere from lap 20 to 30, like we talked about, possibly you're going to stretch it as long as you can. But they're going to have to dive down to the bottom and enter the Daytona pit road, which is not an easy one to enter. You almost have too many options to enter pit lane here, as we're going to see here shortly.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong in that statement, but the thing is, we're still about 10 laps out from when these guys are going to need to come down. The guys that are deeper in the pack, the guys that are not really pushing the issue right now, and are able to ride in traffic at like 80% throttle, they're going to be able to stretch it longer than the guys that are leading the grouping that they're in, solely because that first car in line, no matter what line you're in, we refer to them as the fuel pig because they're the one that's punching the hole in the air. They're the one with the accelerator pedal through the floorboard trying to maintain the front position.
Yeah, definitely. As we take a look at our blimp picture here from Preen Lawn Care, you can kind of see, I don't think anyone in that bottom line wants to get to the front. Nolan Hodgson, Leo Bonacasa, that I think 5 of the top 6, if Josh Ward isn't also in that team, I'm pretty sure that he was not, but I could be mistaken. All of those drivers just happy to be at the bottom line. They don't care to advance. They're looking to the future, and that's just got to be frustrating for Matt White, because part of the success that comes from that top line really is to be able to kind of steal some beans down there from the bottom to make your stack a little bit bigger, and that's just not happening for the top line right now. It's sticking to just 2 or 3 folks. Nobody wants to get out there and make something happen.
I mean, normally we could see 3 cars working together will make the run forward. The only problem is the 7 doesn't want to play nicely, and the 48 keeps trying to side draft, and all he's doing is killing his own momentum.
Yeah, you don't really need to side draft here, especially because with that line, it's going to slow you down as well. But let's take a look farther back at this group: Matt Gaskins, Tom McGee, and Chad Sanner. Excuse me. They're taking about 3 cars here, trying to hold on, and then Wyatt Fink, and this group is racing. 20th position, they're racing back there. Fink, Spivey, Dave Regal, luckily they've made it together. I just wonder what the fastest line is going to be on your own, because usually it's that bottom, but I'm unsure if that translates here to where the top line might be the fastest way to run around.
Well, if you're solo, you're screwed, regardless of what lane you're in.
100%.
If you want a good group of cars going together, you need to be able to arc the corner. And, right now nobody's trusting anyone else to get to their inside, and it's almost like they're doing the Indy snake coming out of 4. How much sense does that make to you, James?
Yeah, and part of it might be just how hard these cars are to control in that single line draft there at speed. But up front, hey, we've got the same thing. We've only got 1 line of cars now. Matt White has decided to pop it inside there between Nicholas Breidenbach and Joseph Cossey. So dare I say that I think we're going to start seeing some pit strategy come into play here pretty soon.
Well, that second grouping from 20th on back that's currently being led by Wyatt Fink, they are chipping away at that gap back to Chad Sanner, who's in that second group, kind of caught in as the caboose of them. And that group with Gaskins, McGee, and Sanner, they're losing time to that lead pack. And that's not something you want to be seeing this early.
Right. And here's the deal, Tony. You know as well as I do, it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when that yellow flag is going to come down. And it doesn't matter if it comes down right now or with 1 to go. Because no matter what... Oh, Seba Cornez gets in the wall. Let's take a look at what happened there. Ooh. Seba kind of looks like he... Looks like he got a little bit squirrely trying to get pushed and just got wrong end of it.
He tried to throw a block on the 13. The only thing is the 13 was too far forward for Seba to be able to successfully throw that block and put
Well,
himself into the wall, carrying his right
you
front
know,
suspension off that car.
I don't think he was blocking for 26th, but this sure is what it looked like. I think he might have got unsettled with the air a little bit. The 13 was higher than he expected to be. Because that can happen too. If the guy in front of you gets out of line and you have the draft, you're going to shoot by him, sometimes without even knowing. And I think that's what we kind of saw there was he got that speed boost when he wasn't expecting it, got to the wrong end of Seabuck Cornez.
And that seems to be what happened is Seabuck's going to be spending a little bit of time now on pit road. Only one retirement to speak of so far, and that's Jeff O'Rourke. Did not take the green.
Oh! Look at the 30. Oh. Jeremy Miller gets it out of shape. Coming down pit road. As it looks like that was a Field Filler Racing pit. Matt White, RJ Root, Glenn Bullard, Jeremy Miller, Joseph Cossey, Ryan Samuelson, and JC Gibbs are deciding to come in.
The 30 bounces off the 7, and unfortunately, a lot of left side damage on that car. So the Racing Rehab 30 is going to be spending an extended stay on pit road. Or not. Apparently, it wasn't as hard of a hit as I thought it was.
So there we go. Now we've got another group coming down. That's going to be the Money House Racing folks.
Like we said, somewhere between 27 and 30 is when we were going to see green flag pit stops begin, and lap 28, here we are. Make that lap 29 right now.
Looks like everybody doing as well as they could.
And you were asking earlier where RJ Root was. It's your effective race lead.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see how quick the Money House guys can get out. Leo Bonacasa deciding not to come down. I think he may have missed it. As there we go. The 23 is going to have to beat out Matt White and RJ Root, who are absolutely flying through the field here. Coming up on it. Are we going to get a block? No, they dared him to block.
20 miles an hour faster, it's suicide to block at that point.
They were so close to Austin Story's right quarter panel that if he would have even thought about it, that was going to be a massive disaster. So, hey, that's one way to do it. But Matt White, RJ Root leading us around, like you said, with a good pit stop. Joe Stafford, Josh Ward, R.P. Allen, Jeremy Miller, Ryan Samuelson, and then we had a call out for Nolan Hodgson in the 54. Said Meemaw is always watching. We appreciate you, Meemaw.
And this just in from race control, Glenn Ballard getting a black flag for using too many pit boxes on exits.
Yeah, and from what I saw, there was a couple folks that might get looked at for that. The safe way to go about it, but ultimately it is against the rules. So we'll see who else gets called for that from that. So here we go, lap 30 of 80. Folks, again, shout out your driver. We've already got one for Nolan Hodgson. And then we've got a bunch for Tommy Grimberg says RJ Root is mega cute. Yeah, he is. You ever seen that guy? Let's take a look. See if he has a photo up. Nope, no photo. Come on, RJ. Come on, man.
Hey, as I was told numerous times throughout my life so far, I have the perfect face for radio.
Tony, come on now. You're gorgeous. It's 2022. You can be anything. Especially on the internet. It's Joseph Lester, and here we go. The 88. Looks like the 88 of Joseph Cossey is out in front. He's running with Matt White. So he's going to try and stay your lucky dog. Looks like the teammates more than willing to let him do that, as we are kind of spread out here. So we're going to run you through. We We got Matt White up front, or I'm sorry, behind the lap car of 88, or the soon-to-be lap car. Then we got Austin Story there in third, Joseph Lester in the 18 machine, Joe Stafford a little ways back, Josh Ward there in sixth, RP Allen, Jeremy Miller, Ryan Samuelson, then Nolan Hodgson in the top 10. Then we have Nicholas Bryden back, and then back in the back, Bennett Allen. They're not back in the back, but about 7 seconds back. Bennett Allen, J.C. Gibson, Matt Gaskins, Tom McGee. Then in the always gorgeous Mission 22, Randy Spivey, Jeff Carson, Dave Regal, sitting in 18th, Chad Sander, White Fink, behind him, Jackson Derby, Glenn Balliard, Leo Bonacasa there in 23rd, Joseph Cossey, 24th, and then Bawalda, another lap car up here, Chris Claude, Zachary Vaughn, Alex Brinson, Corey Burkett, Ken Ron, Charles Eaton, Brandy Belk, and then Emily Urias.
Urias just got thrown the black flag, as did Tony Burt. Too many pit boxes for both of those two drivers as well.
Very unfortunate. And then we got Lauren Jones, Bryson Alexander, and like you said, Tony Burt. So up front, though, a couple cars in the going to be fighting for the lucky dog. Matt White's trying, if there's a caution coming out, he does not want to be the lucky dog. That means you're put at the back end of the line. But this is the battle to watch. Zachary Vaughn, Alex Brinson, Corey Burkett, John Bawalda, and Chris Claude. All those drivers are going to be fighting for the lucky dog positions as their pits were not as quick. It looks like right sides only for Matt and RJ. That's what kept them so quick for pretty much everybody in the top 10.
I think Matt White at the front of this field right now is just going to be content to just ride behind the 88 and use him to punch the hole in the air. As here comes the 23 of Austin Story to the high side. He's got Lester with him. Oy.
Yeah, so
they were almost 3 wide for a second there.
Yeah, and here we go. Kind of a, Matt White says I was at the top.
And there it goes.
Oh. I'm hearing it, but I'm not seeing it.
Zachary Vaughn got yeeted.
Oh. Going through the bus stop. Luckily, he's able to keep it.
Well, that all started with the 03 getting into the 1.
Well, you know where it started with Matt White coming up to block that top line.
Yeah, well, yeah, it kind of did. But the 1 checks up, the 03 doesn't. Bump draft gone wrong, and unfortunately the 91 just gets sent through the grass. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, looks like RJ Root has taken over the lead of this race.
Yeah, for sure. RJ Root, and he's got Austin Story behind him, Joseph Lester, Stafford, and he's kind of on his own. Luckily, RJ, one of those drivers who doesn't really cause too much issues. So they're going to work with him a little bit, at least for now. Let him hog all that fuel. They already came down.
He's still behind the 88. So he's still using the 88 as a fuel pig.
Yeah, Joseph Cossey. But I'll tell you what that wreck did do. That put
opened the field up.
Jeremy Miller and broke the field up bad. So RJ has a while to go until he gets any reinforcements from the likes of Ryan Samuelson. For right now.
Got a
Alex
little debate
Murray.
going on as far as a race that happened in New Jersey. Sorry about that, folks. My broadcast partner, James Riles, who was working the ones and twos over in the production truck, unfortunately, just had a power outage at his house. So thank you all so much for sticking with us here for the final round of the Davis Brothers Roofing Sunday Night NASCAR series. See if I can get my live timing and scoring to work properly now, as that's already crashed on me once. Survey says any day now. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. Again, technical difficulties. Sorry about this. There we go. As you're watching RJ Root show the way right now, as he's got the 88 right in front of him. As that is Joseph Cossey. Currently your first car 1 or more laps down is going to be that man in the 51, John Bawalda. So there's your free pass. As RJ Root continues to show the way here tonight. Just past the halfway mark, working lap 48 of 80. I expect we're going to see at least one more pit stop. As we've already proven you can get about right around 27 to 28 laps. So somewhere around lap 55 to 60 is when we should be seeing the next round of green flag pit stops. Checking back with that second group, being led right now by Jeremy Miller in the 30. There you see that psychedelic paint scheme right behind the 75, which is a lap car. Again, doing the smart thing and using lap cars as the person punching air in the hole in the air, trying to save as much fuel as you can to extend how long you can stay out, and you're gonna need a good group of people to go with you down pit road with 0 mistakes. Currently working 30 to go. Back to the front, that is RJ Root. There's Austin Story right behind him. Joseph Lester rounding out your podium currently. So a Chevy, 2 Toyotas, another Chevy and another Toyota in your top 5 right now. As they are coming up on another set of lap cars. Looks like one of them might be my broadcast partner, Dave Regal. Yeah, it was. Dave, what are you doing? Holy cow. That was a nightmare scenario, making the lead lap cars file through the middle of y'all. Pick a lane and hold it. Something that we constantly preach here on Sim Racing Media. Story continues to show the way. Second car in line in this front pack. Working lap 52 of 80.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh no. What just happened to JC Gibson? Oh, let's go take a look. Here we see Gibson in the 27, last car in line there. Coming through 3 and 4. And the back end just washed out on him. Oh no. Oh my God. Wow. I don't have words for that. As we are going to go on board. This is what Dave Regal just saw. You can see it pop off in front of him. You can hear just how bad these cars are scraping through the corners. There goes that one. This is 63 of Wyatt Fink coming back up on track now. And it's popping off. Yellow flag is out. Regal backs off. Fink flashes by. Okay, that wasn't Dave. Alright, let's go back and take a look at what happened with Gibson here. I stand corrected. That was not Dave Regal that came flying in there. You see the 27 of Gibson. There he goes, and that car just snapped around on him. And that's something we've seen twice already today. Oy. That was the 45 of Leo Bonacasa. Oh my goodness. Let's watch this one back, as we are going to go on board with Bonacasa now. This is what he sees. You can see it pop off way out on the left side of your screen. Just listen to those cars bottom out. And just, oh! Hand grenade the engine for Bonacasa. And I can pretty much tell you what the last thing to go through his mind was before that engine blew. His own eyeballs. Bryson Alexander catching a piece of it as well. There you see him in the Duracell 20. Well then. Caution is out. And let me see if I can find him. We are actually going to try to reach out now to the driver of the number 45 for Money House Racing. Leo, not the night you were hoping for.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you?
I'm doing okay. Talk us through what just happened.
Well, we went for our green flag pit stops around lap 28, and there was a car on my inside, so I missed my pit box. I got back going. I got hooked up with Glenn in the 7 and Bryson in the 20, trying to make up some room, and then looks like the 27 just broke loose, and by the time the 7 car moved out of my way, I was a sitting duck. Well, JC was a sitting duck, and I was just left there. So it is what it is. Hopefully, I'm sitting on the bubble right now for the playoffs. So we're going to have to see how this one finishes out. But, yeah.
How much damage is there to the car?
I have 45 minutes and 34 seconds of required repairs left. So
Well,
I'm done for the night.
Poop on a cracker.
Yep.
Leo, still, it's been a great season. Who do you need to thank before we let you go back and try to fix that car with your team?
First off, I just want to thank for my team, Money House Racing, Austin, RP, and the guys over at Propel, Joe Stafford, Nick Breidenbach, and them. We've been working hard together all year, so hopefully we can get the results tonight, and I can squeak into the playoffs.
Well, best of luck to you, Leo, on that, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Donnie.
So you could hear it there. Pretty dejected right now, as Leo Bonaconsta is going to have 45 minutes to get that engine fixed, and we're only 25 laps left in this piece. Austin Story currently showing the way. Raymond Root trying to lead the bottom line. Story on the top shelf, Root on the low side. Matt White giving Root a good shove through turn number 4. Here we go to the stripe. Gives a lap to Root. Nolan Hodgson, Austin Story slugging it out for third right now. And we're back under caution. What happened there? Well, let's go back and take a look at what did happen here. You see a 3-wide situation coming through the tri-oval. That's never a good idea. And that's why it's never a good idea. Let's see what the eye in the sky picked up here is we're going to watch that back. Keep your eye on the 51. That's the car right in the middle. You see him there. This is from the blimp. 45 just goes up. The 20 catches a piece of it. Second one he's been involved in tonight, unfortunately. John Buwalda just got the nose of his car taken off by the wall. And just like that, we are under caution number 2. So we are going to take this moment to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be right back after this.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
With With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker. The future is feeling.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
And we are back for the Coke Zero Sugar 200 at Daytona as part of the SNN Cup Series. Tony Spasso up in the booth with you for this one. As the lights have gone out on the pace car, we are going to restart with 20 to go here at Daytona. Raymond Root going to have the button as the 48 of Matt White, who was working with Root there just before the caution flew. Going to be right up there with him. Nolan Hodgson, Austin Story, and Joseph Lester rounding out your top five as they currently sit. There you see Lester's 18 on the bottom lane. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex right now here at Daytona. Pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn down below the mustard line. Root going to have the button. Geico restart zone rule is in effect tonight. Pace car is off. Root has the trigger. Wastes zero time jumping on the loud pedal. As soon as he can, jumps up in front of Matt White to give him a tow going into turn number one. Austin Story trying to make something happen as the two Toyotas on the low side, the two Chevys on the top side. Now the two Chevys on the low side in front of the two Toyotas. Three Toyotas in line right now. It's Story, Lester, and Hodgson as that top lane trying to make something happen back there. But right now, White and Root looking very strong as the Toyota contingent jumps to the top side. Three cars in a dance trying to make something happen on the top shelf. Story, Lester, Hodgson is Gaskin trying to make something happen on the low side right now. There you see that Royal Crown Cola number 79 trying to get up there and help his fellow bow ties. No Fords in sight in the top 10 right now. Highest running Ford is back in 12. That's Randy Spivey. Still in this lead mix, but kind of mired back there a little bit. You can see that prancing pony on the front of that Mustang. Is right now Austin Story, Joseph Lester, Nolan Hodgson all have the clear on the top lane. Something I've been talking about all night. That top lane, you bind the car up less. You let the car roll the corner a lot more stable. And Austin Story is being pushed to the lead right now by Lester by a full car length over RJ Root right now. Root in command of the low side. 18 laps to go here at Daytona. Story, Lester, Root, Hodgson, White, Stafford, Gaskin, Cozy, Allen, and Ballard, your top 10 as they currently sit. we're at the point of you can make it from here, even if we do go into overtime. The question is, how much aggression are we going to see here in the final 17 laps, as we will be 17 to go at the stripe. Root making a run on the low side, getting a good shove from White. Story and Lester not able to get bumper to bumper like they were. Lester looking to give Story a good shot down the back straightaway as the 54 puts the chrome horn to Lester. That's Nolan Hodgson, excuse me, pushing on Lester. That bottom lane really taking effect right now. Working very well together. It's RJ Root, Matt White, Matt Gaskin, Joseph Cossey, and Ryan Samuelson all right there in your top 5. Good grief. Jeff Carlson right there as well. The only Toyota not sitting at an outside lane. And you can hear just how badly these cars are scraping as they go around this 2.5 mile tri-oval. In command of this one, 15 laps to go. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chats tonight. Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening. James checking in with us now. He's pulling for the number 3 of Barnett. Wants to see something good happen there. Or Bennett Allen, I'm sorry. The only problem is Bennett is currently back there, currently leading the second group. And you see the 3 of Allen. Has the 19 and 14 right behind him. Those are both lap cars. Next car for position is going to be that 63 of Wyatt Fink. Meanwhile, back up at the front of this piece, looking to put an exclamation point, an absolute exclamation point on the regular season here. Pied Piper, Gloucester, Virginia. And no, it's not Massachusetts. It's not Gloucester. It has been a long night, folks. We're almost done with this one. 13 laps left in the regular season as they come out of turn number 2 and down the super stretch. Make that 12 and a half laps left in the regular season. Raymond Root showing the way right now. Matt White giving him a good friendly shove. Matt Gaskin, Joseph Cossey, and Ryan Samuelson, your top 5, as they're all single file. And we've got Joe Stafford trying to make something happen on the top shelf. He's got Josh Ward up there with him. So you're trying to get that second lane back going. Joseph Lester working the top side as he's got Nolan Hodgson right behind him and the 23 of Austin Story. John Bawalda right there on the low side as well in the 51. I don't see too much damage on that car. As the top lane's got to stay organized if they're going to want to take a shot at that low side. Everybody just playing duck and peek right now to keep the radiator temperatures within check here in the final laps as we are 12 to go. Make that 11 to go. Root showing the way on the low side. Miller has the top side in check. Trying to drag them back up to the front. That's not healthy. Stafford almost had a bump draft go wrong as he's now pushing on the 30, trying to reel them back into contention as the 30 bails out. Goes to the low side as he saw the 51 of Bawalda coming and just slams the door in his face going through 3. Bawalda thinks about going up. The only problem is Stafford's already there. Stafford right now hung out to dry. Here comes the cavalry in the form of the 18 of Joseph Lester on the top shelf. Raymond Root continues to show the way as we are 10 to go, hauling it through 1 and 2. 25 miles to go. That's all that's left as one gets sent. That was Nolan Hodgson. We stay green, though. Looks like something happened to R.P. Allen as well. Let's go back and take a look at that one first. Oh, yeah, that would be why Hodgson got sent. So that would explain everything there as far as why those two cars went down into the inner portion of the super stretch here at Daytona. Meanwhile, back up in front, that is John Bawalda now trying to lead the top side as he's got Joe Stafford there as well. Lap car coming up quickly in front of these guys. Three wide towards the back. Joseph Lester, the meat in that sandwich. Most terrifying thing you can hear your spotter say at any time in the iRacing server.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
3 wide, you're the meat. And looks like Nicholas Breidenbach just got yeeted. Oh, no, it happened in front of him. Looks like Corey Burkett. Here they are coming out of turn number 2. See Burkett in the 13 there, trying to make something happen on the low side. 3 wide, never a good idea. And just like that, we are back under caution with only a handful to go here. That could have ended all sorts of poorly. Currently sitting on 8 to go. Your top 10 as they currently sit: R.J. Root, Matt White, Matt Gaskin, Joseph Cossey, Ryan Samuelson, Glenn Ballard, Jeremy Miller, Jackson Derby, John Bawalda, and Joe Stafford. That is your top 10. Currently showing 26 left on the lead lap. And only 3 retirements to speak of. Make that 4. As both Travis Davis and Jeff O'Rourke did not take the green. J.C. Gibson has already put it on the hauler. Leo Bonacasa has been on pit road for the last 22 minutes. Now makes that 23 minutes. And as Bryson Alexander had to tow to get to the pits in the 20 after that little fracas. So there we see Charles Eaton in the 75 getting the free pass to get back on the lead lap. So just like that, we have 27 left on the lead lap. Lauren Jones and R.P. Allen both have gone down pit side. Jones to put tires on and get fuel. R.P. Allen to get some damage fixed in the 03. Lights are still on the pace car. Let us know in the live chat who you're pulling for. Oh, the barbs that are being traded right now. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We're watching the Davis Brothers Roofing Sunday Night NASCAR Coke 0200 at Daytona. Tony Tremasso up in the booth with you for Sim Racing Media. Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening. Did have connection issues earlier as power outage down in Arkansas for my partner in crime, Mr. James Riles. Hopefully everything's going to be okay with him and his family. But 7 laps to go currently. We should get a restart with about 5 to go, as this is the final race of the regular season here for the Davis Brothers Roofing Sunday Night NASCAR Series. And there it is. That's what I was looking for. As looking at what is coming up here, top 16 in points at the end of tonight are going to make it in starting next week at Darlington for the Cookout Southern 250. As here we are coming down the super stretch again here at Daytona, as the lights are out on the pace car. So 3 rounds of the round of 16, 3 races. The Cookout Southern 250 at Darlington, the Hollywood Casino 200 at Kansas, and the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol. That is round number 1 of the playoffs. As the pace car does have its lights out, field working its way through the 3-4 complex. RJ Root going to have the button. Matt White on the top side with him. Matt Gaskin in the Royal Crown 79. Going to roll it right behind Root. What type of restart are we about to see? Restart with 5 to go. Root leads them into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, and we are back underway. Nobody really wanting to get a major jump right now as Root going to go up to pick up White on the top side. Gaskin going to get the run going into 1. As he has Cossey in the 88 helping him down there. I'm sorry, that's Gaskin and Samuelson on the low side. Low side definitely not where you want to be on these restarts. As Root made it happen, as a ton of teammates up there in the front, making sure one of them comes home with that checkered flag. We're 3 wide in the back. It's Jeff Carson caught on the top shelf, being hung out to dry as everybody just files past. Carson going to hemorrhage back to 18th. 4 laps to go. 79 got sent up the track going through 3. Or going through 1, I mean. Down the super stretch they come again. Root in command. He has White and Cossey right behind him. I dare say he's in the safest hands of anyone on track right now. As that was a 30 of Jeremy Miller almost going for a ride. He tried to slam the door on John Bawalda. Unfortunately, Bawalda was there, but smart enough to let out of the gas. As we got 1 poking out. I believe that's Joe Stafford. Yes, it is. He was poking out to get some clean air to that radiator. Now thinks, boy, that's going around. Bawalda saved it? No, he didn't. Boy. Bawalda almost saved it. 2 laps to go. less than 5 miles left here at Daytona. RJ Root shows the way. Matt White right on his back bumper, trying to push RJ to a victory. You're getting a little sketchy there at the tail end of this front group. As that was Stafford. Joseph on Joseph crime, as that's Lester and Stafford who were going after each other. Final lap. We are racing back to checkers. All hell breaks loose behind him. Lester gets sent through the infield. We will go back and take a look at that. But right now, coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. Teammate right behind him. The Pied Piper of Gloucester, Virginia. Your winner, RJ Root. Matt White hangs on for second. Ryan Samuelson, Joseph Coffey, and Glenn Ballard rounding out your top 5. We are going to go back and take a look at what did happen back here. As we're going to check in with the eye in the sky. Oh. See the 18 pushing the 30. The 30 has a good run, gets into the back of the 31, which gets the 30 loose because you never want to push the pusher. 30 bounces off the wall. 57 gets up into the, 34 gets up into the 57. And all hell breaks loose on the final lap. As we go back live, there is your race winner tonight, RJ Root. As I'm currently trying to find him. There he is. As he's doing his burnouts, we are going to reach out now to the man of the hour, the Pied Piper of Gloucester, Virginia. Congratulations on winning here tonight at Daytona, RJ Root.
Ooh, how's it going, guys?
You tell me how it's going, because that was a hell of a finish, my friend.
Yeah, I was really worried there because last night I was in a race and ironically I had an all-white car behind me at the end of stage 1 that said that I was safe, and then I proceeded to finish 13th in the first stage. So I was a little hesitant, but Matt told me I was safe and he was going to push me to the finish, and he did it. And I can't thank him enough. I can't thank Frontline Esports, Prodigy, everybody that puts all the work into these cars. That was a fucking blast. Back to back in the fall, well, summer or fall Daytona race in this league. So feeling pretty good.
I imagine you would be, especially going into the playoffs, as round 1 starts next week at Darlington of all places.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. Don't have our car exactly where we want it, but we're pretty sure that we're gonna have a decent car. I just really wanted the extra bonus points so that I don't have to stress so much with Darlington and Bristol in the same bracket.
All right, RJ, who else do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate this victory with your team?
I got to thank Burnt Rubber Media, BD Technology, Shamrock Auto Care. I'm completely brain farting right now because...
Fair enough. You just had a hell of a race at Daytona. Go celebrate with your team, sir, and we will see you next week at Darlington, my friend.
I will. Thank you.
And joining us now, the man that actually pushed him to the victory, number 48, Matt White. And Matt, RJ said you had him a little bit worried there, but you reassured him that he was in safe hands coming into the closing laps. Talk us through what you were doing all race, because you two worked very well together.
Yeah, I mean, right from the beginning, we unloaded really quick. Me and him really were able to hook up real well. I could push him and he could lead. And yeah, coming to the end there, I made sure to tell him that, I was like, hey man, don't worry about it. Cause he's like, oh, I got hung out for, and I was, if I would hung him out, it would have just been a bad situation.
Well, you didn't hang him out. You came home with a P2 finish here, but this is the end of the regular season. We now go into playoffs, and race number one of round one next week at Darlington. Your thoughts going into the Lady in Black?
Yeah, so for me personally, for the playoffs, top fives. I mean, just getting top fives, racking on points, that's just going to keep us in contention. If you can average a top 7 the entire playoffs, you'll be there at the end of the final four. So obviously wins are important too. I'm going to try to get some wins, but yeah, that's my goal for next week is to get a top 5.
All right, Matt, who do you need to thank before I let you go celebrate with your team?
Yeah, I want to thank Prodigy. We really have worked hard on these setups the last couple of weeks. I want to thank Ripple Controls for being on board. I want to thank for Cedar Canyon Plumbing I just put on this week. And obviously JCB out of Grand Meadows. So we really have been working hard to get this thing fast.
All right, Matt White, again, congratulations on a podium here tonight at Daytona. We will see you next week at Darlington.
All right, thank you so much, Tony.
And joining us now, the man out of Westminster, Maryland, Ryan Samuelson. All in all, can't be too disappointed, especially after having to climb up 15 spots to come home on the final step of the podium.
Hey. Yeah, that kind of, I felt I had a chance there. It kind of hurts a little bit though. I can't lie. I was going for that, man. I was putting everything I had into trying to get around them. It's tough to win for sure in this league now, and I wanted that bad, man.
Well, I mean, when you've got two guys that are going to work together like Root and White agreed to do, you need backup of your own. And I mean, Cossey was trying to work with you, but just in the closing laps, just came up just a tick short. But again, you have one of the biggest movers tonight. Being plus 15 from where you laid down your qualifying attempt. You can't really hang your head because that was an excellent run, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Shout out to Jeremy Miller there, man. I couldn't have even gotten a third without him there. Appreciate all his help with that, giving me the big shove and kind of sacrificing himself a little bit there at the end. I mean, obviously, great team, great set from Prodigy. Great run. Congrats to RJ and Matt there. I've said congrats to them. I mean, they kicked butt. I mean, they controlled the race. They did a great, amazing job. There's nothing to fault. Just try to get wins. When you're that close, it kind of hurts.
Yeah, it does. But everything's going to be reset next week as we go into race number 1 of round 1 of the playoffs at Darlington. What are your thoughts going into the track Too Tough to Tame?
Darlington's one of my favorite tracks. Definitely one I feel like I'm good at. I mean, limit mistakes and hopefully get a top 3, maybe a win there. And just try to be consistent. So.
Well, iRacing just recently updated that track. Have you done any tweaking to your setup since the last time we were there?
I haven't gotten a chance to really try it out yet. I mean, I'll sit down with the guys and kind of go over it and get some laps in this week and see what we can do.
All right, Ryan, before we let you go, who do you need to thank for tonight?
Project Esports, Run More, Running Shoes and Running Store, Magic, Prodigy as well. Just the whole group that I was with, we're working together. So I can't really be too mad about the result because at the end of the day, we got to win. You guys for broadcasting. And yeah. Oh, and my boy Fearless Creations, he designs my paint, so great job. Thank you, Frederick, for making the awesome looking paint.
All right, Ryan Samuelson, best of luck to you next week at Darlington.
Appreciate it.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to about do it for us tonight, as we are just waiting on... Come on. Of course it doesn't want to go. There we go. Final finishing order. RJ Root coming home with the victory. Matt White, Ryan Samuelson rounding out your podium. Joseph Cossey and Glenn Ballard rounding out your top 5. Matt Gaskin, Jeff Carson, Austin Story, Randy Spivey, and Nick Breidenbach rounding out your top 10. Wyatt Fink, Tom McGee, Bennett Allen, Josh Ward, and Jackson Derby rounding out your top 15. Joseph Lester, after getting yeeted on that last lap, is going to recover for 16th. R.P. Allen, Dave Regal in 18th. Charles Eaton, Chad Sanner rounding out your top 20. Jeremy Miller, Emily Urias, Joe Stafford, Lauren Jones, John Bawalda, and Nolan Hodgson in 26, rounding out your lead lap cars. As Alan Princeton, Corey Burkett, Ken Ron, Randy Belk, Chris Claude, Zach Vaughn, Bryson Alexander, Tony Burt, and Seba Cornez running out your top 35. Leo Bonacasa, Knight, he'd just as soon forget, finishing in 36th. J.C. Gibson putting it on the hauler early, as did Seba Cornez. Zendela Collins, Justin Davies, and Jeff O'Rourke, both not taking the green. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to a close tonight. On behalf of Sim Racing Media and on behalf of the Davis Brothers Roofing Company, thank you so much for making this a part of your evening here tonight. This is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week, whatever you do, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.